into our hips, coming into our abdominal area where we're starting to feel our breaths deepen, where we feel our ribs expanding outward, where we feel our chest rising and falling. We feel our clavicles expanding outward. Shoulders dropping away, melting away from our ears, earthbound. Arms are just really relaxed and at our sides. Those open hands, the fingers are maybe slightly curled, not taking any real energy in there right now. Seeing with our nice, slow, even breaths if we can make sure our heads are on straight. And feel your connectivity from the earth shooting up through your body and expanding out through the crown of your head. Where we connect to that universal energy. Notice in our practice today, all the different ways that your body will be connected or responding to the earth. What different shapes it'll be, what different positions it'll be in relationship to the earth. Right now, we're just really perpendicular to it. Bend slightly into your knees. And just do a little bit of gentle bouncing here. Okay, you may not even quite notice that I'm doing that. So it's just really very subtle here. Just that little bending into the flexed knees. And then bending a little bit more. And lifting our arms straight up, taking that energy from the earth straight up, offering our hearts, offering our gaze upward. And then exhale, letting the heart, hands come down, arms come down, coming into a bend into the knees, and hands come back a bit. And let's repeat that, straightening the legs, lengthening the arms, sides lengthen. Starting to get a little bit of warmth going in to our necks as well as we follow our hands. Lifting spirit, lifting gaze up, coming down, bending into knees, chin comes to chest. Hands might come a little bit back farther each time. Maybe they rise up a little higher. But everything is done nice and easy with your flow of your breath. Each of us may be on just a little different rhythm here. Arms may be lifting really high behind you. And when they lift up, maybe you pull them back a bit so that your heart releases and you come to a slight back bend. Just keep doing a few more. Really let your head go. Unless that does not feel right when you come up, then just keep your head from tilting downwards. Okay, you can keep your head just straight while the arms move. Your gaze is just straight down instead of the crown reaching towards the earth. Let's do 2 more here. Standing up with hands directly overhead in this upward salute. I'm going to go ahead and interlace my fingers except for my index finger. I'm going to keep that pointed upwards. And I'm going to squeeze here. And I'm going to do my half moons. I'm going to come over and I want to hold it just a bit here. Trying to push down. I'm coming over to the right and I'm pushing down a little bit more to my left foot. So you do the opposite if you're on the opposite side, and just stretching over, noticing how your breath is assisting in opening and letting yourself go. And then bring yourself up, inhale. Lengthen everything, root down through your feet. And then come on over to the other side. Really letting everything open. Letting those long, deep, slow breaths and gravity assist here. Push down into that opposite foot. And inhale, lift. Let's take that flowing. Exhaling to one side. Bringing yourself up with your oblique strength. Inhale. And taking yourself over to the other side on an exhale. Repeat this flow on your own. If your arms get tired, you can take them into Trident Mudra, cactus. Maybe lengthen them up when you're in the center and cactus them when you come over. Or just keep them up or keep them in cactus or find another place that's right for you. One more time each side. Good. Lengthen up side body. Exhale, hands come down. Let them float all the way down. Bend into your knees and slide your hands to your knees. Again, our feet are nicely grounded. I'm going to just straighten one leg and bend into the other. Notice what that does. My hips are moving. Okay? Hips are moving kind of back and forth here. My back is elongated. And then coming into just bent knees here. I'm going to do a standing cat-cow. So I'm going to hold onto my knees, kind of take my hands like this. A C shape is the shape of my knee. And I'm going to let my belly drop. And I look up. And then I'm going to extend my legs long. Let my hands come down. My shins maybe, and come chin to chest. Opening up the back side of the legs as well. Bend into the knees. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl and tuck and round and lengthen my legs. My head drop. And keep going with that flow. Again, being very cautious of your head and neck. And if you tend to get dizzy, then don't drop your head too much. But feel this now, starting to open up our spine. Starting to send those electrical messages through our body. We're awake, we're alive. We're honoring our bodies and our spines with this cat-cow. Let's do 2 more rounds. It's good to try cat-cow in different scenarios, on your hands and knees. And then just roll up into mountain again. hands and knees, or standing, sitting in chair, just moving in that opening and closing manner for the spine. It's really, really good. Let's go ahead, fly our arms up, inhale. Exhale, take our hands out to shoulder height. We're going to leave them here and just tilt our body. So my left hip tilts out. Notice I'm not doing this. Okay, that's another thing. Right now, we're going to work more into the waist by keeping our arms really lengthened out and just let the waist. Inhale here. Exhale over. Trying to maintain those arms in the same place. So really keep them solid. Exhaling when you come over. Inhaling as you bring yourself up. Taking a little bend in your knees if you like, just to make sure that you're not going to hyperextend or lock those knees. Only if you feel like you need to, or just keep them supple, okay? So they're not locked. Using waist here, waist energy. Not wasted energy, but energy from the waist. Exhale as you come over. Let's do one more set. Bring yourself up. And now let's take it in that other way, where one hand comes down, the other one comes over. This arm may continue to even come over a little bit more, getting into the shoulder there, okay? And then bringing yourself back, airplane, and taking yourself, making both arms kind of rounded, or you can straighten them out. Find where you want to take it here. Inhale when you come back to center, and take it on over. One more time each side, whether you are keeping your arms straight or whether you are curling them. Find the difference there. You're going to work different parts of your body by doing that. Now I'm going to take my hands into that yoga mudra where I interlace the base of my spine. I'm going to push down, squeeze my shoulder blades together. I know Rose was saying she's having some shoulder issues, so let's squeeze the back and then let our shoulders round forward, kind of like caving in your chest area. Let your chin come down and then push down and open up. Maybe your chin lifts, really open up through that chest area, and then shoulders curl in, and then push yourself down and open, and shoulders curl. That's my exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do one more of that. And rising back up, bend into your knees. And let's go into our Bhadrasana, right arm under left. Find your arms in a combined, connected way here. And lift through your legs. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, take it on down. 2 more times, rise up high. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. And here's where you're going to stay in a nice little squat. And we're going to take more weight onto your left leg. Right foot kind of comes to the ball of the foot, maybe your toe. And you're going to start to maybe just begin that lift where that left leg takes the weight, right? If you practice this a while, you may have the balance to cross, maybe crisscross, and it doesn't matter where you're at as long as you are where you are at, okay? That's what's important. You can also have a chair or a wall by you to be practicing this. Balance is about practice, okay? We don't have to lose it, right? But we got to use it. And then I'm going to release. Put my foot down, squat down a little bit more. Good squats there. And come on up, inhale. And exhale, releasing and flying upwards. Exhale, my left comes under my right. Crossing here. And so we're going to even this out by the opposite arm under, opposite one on top. Take 4 squats here. When I lift up, I'm going to lift into the shoulders there. When I squat down, I'm getting into my knees and warming my legs. I think one more time. Good. And now I'm going to go ahead and take weight onto my right foot and begin just that lift up here, okay? Or maybe this is my balance right here, toe, okay? Focus on something that's not moving, so that would not be me, right? That would be something else you're going to focus on. As you keep working on where your balance point is. Most importantly, all of us are unique individuals, different places that we find our balance. That's why we started off slow. We started off a lot in the mountain pose. So we can really feel what that's like to be grounded, supported, and balanced in our own way. Releasing that top leg or placing that left foot back on the ground. Lower down. Bring yourself up, inhale. Exhale, arms release, they fly up. And exhale, hands come down. Slowly and find mountain. Good. Let's go ahead and open ourselves up into a 5-pointed star here. So we can start working into the warriors and triangles and pyramid poses and all those other real strengthening, warming postures. So here we are, arms are out, shoulder height, legs are out, toes are forward. And so we're lined up, I am with the edges of my mat. Again, I kind of keep 2 mats, one in one direction, one in the other, so I can always have my feet where I need them to be. I'm going to turn my right toes out towards the short edge of the mat. Already I should start to feel something here on the back side of my leg. I'm going to keep this front leg straight as I come into triangle pose. Now, if you have blocks, this is a good place to have a block, just on the inside of your foot at any height. Don't have to. You can also use your leg, except for on the inside of your knee. You can use your leg to find a placement for your hand, okay? But block I like because it's really stable, and I'm not, pressing into myself where I might find myself pushing myself off balance. So I'm going to take this right hand and I'm going to let, like someone is pulling me, really stretching first before I go down. So really feel that stretch, kind of like we did earlier. Feel that stretch in the upper body and in the back side of my front leg. And then let my hand come down on the block, if you have it, on your leg, maybe on the ground, okay? I like the block. I used to take it to the ground, but I think I got sloppy when I did that. So I really like to use the block to accentuate the pose. So I want to try to bring my left hip back a bit, my left shoulder back a bit, opening up through my chest by grounding through my feet, grounding through my hand that's on the block or my leg or the ground, and taking my gaze wherever feels good for me. Feeling this beautiful triangle pose, this geometric, perfect pose here. Stable, strong, powerful, balanced, and even. Look at the beautiful triangles that you created in your legs, in your arm and leg. And then inhale, lift yourself up. And be nice and long here. And now we're going to bend into that front knee. And maybe you need to extend that back leg a little bit more, back or the front one forward. You want to keep the knee and the ankle now in a relationship here. So today we're taking some depth. We're taking things a little slower, working into warming, and we're working into alignment. And maybe just some of these little details that you can throw out if you want, or you can keep. And then I'm also going to see where my center of my body is. Don't want to be here yet. Don't want to be back, hanging out in the past or worried about the future. Right now, I want to be centered, okay? Before we go into anything else. And then I look over, and I'm going to look towards the future. I'm going to look over my right finger, my right middle finger. Keeping my arms really nicely directed out of my shoulder area, pressing strongly into my back leg, especially the outside part of that back foot. All right, and now we did triangle with the straight leg. Now we're going to do extended side angle. So we're going to pull again, pull, 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 get that stretch in the waist. I'm going to let my right hand come down, again, maybe to the block. If you don't have a block and you want to take your forearm to your thigh, that's a good place too. So this is different than triangle in that we have a bent leg. And sometimes I and others call this a triangle pose, and it doesn't really matter, I guess, but traditionally, this is more of a side angle pose. And again, pressing down with my feet, my hand on the block, pulling up with my fingers. And maybe pressing just gently my elbow, my right elbow into my thigh to help open that hip or to keep that knee, my front knee from bowing inward, okay? And now if I want, you can go ahead and extend this arm over. Look at that beautiful line that you guys are making there. Straight from my fingers all the way down to my back foot. Breathing here. Warming ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but I'm warming up. And then taking my hand back up straight and bringing myself back into warrior two. Taking a look over that right hand and then straightening my front leg. And then turning my front toes that were front back forward. Finding myself in five-pointed star. We are going to do the other side, and we'll do the same thing, triangle, and then we'll work through our warrior and our extended side angle. But first, hold on to your belly. Like when I say hold on, you can actually hold on here. Make sure it's pulling in tightly, or you can take your hands out and make sure you're pulling in tightly without your hands. And take a block in front of you and take your hands on top of that block. You don't have a block, maybe your fingers will reach. I don't want you to just hang though, okay? So if you need to, take it to your legs, but not your knees. Blocks are great though. And from here, press down. We should have about a straight spine, parallel to the ground. And if you notice, I'm taking my hips left and right. When I do that, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that right there. Stretching on the inner groin, the inner upper thigh, and also working my hips, lubricating there, and just evening myself out again because I only did one side, right? So I want to come back into being really stable and balanced again when I go to my other side. Pull in at your navel point and take your arms out. And bring yourself up, okay? Five-pointed star, beautiful. Taking my left toes now, or if you do the other side, do the other way, okay? Just make sure we're matching what we do on one side as the other. I'm gonna keep that leg straight, really push energy out from my fingertips, okay? Outward, down into my feet, and then I'm gonna take my hand that's being pulled forward, which is my left hand, really stretch it out before I come down. And I'm going to have a block available. So here, 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 and then find that block or find that solidity somewhere. All right, if it's into your leg, that's fine, just not your knee. Okay. And breathe here. Holding the postures does not mean we hold our breath. You want to make sure you breathe, right? Keep your breath going slow and steady, and that helps us to sustain ourselves in these stronger poses that we are holding. And when we hold them, it builds a lot of strength, builds a lot of determination, builds patience. Because unlike like a real fast vinyasa flow or a real fast power yoga class, we're holding these a lot longer, okay? Not so much as long as if it were a yin class, but we're holding it for strength and stability and finding good alignment. All right, from here, I'm gonna lift myself back up. Come up here. Find myself in 5-pointed star. Bend into that front knee. Take the length that I need from my body, my anatomy, to find a nice front knee over ankle, pushing out long and strong through that back leg, finding my center. See how I was kind of like this? I'm going to bring myself back so I can start centered. That's a nice thing about the Zoom, that you're looking at yourself, right? You don't have to look and compare with other people, but it gives us kind of that mirror, and not for vanity, not for ego, but for feedback, right? Feedback into our alignment. So we're stay really protected here. I'm gonna look over my middle left finger. Feel really strong here, really proud, really powerful, fearless in nature. And then I'm going to let this left hand be pulled forward. Pull it, pull it, pull it forward. And then when I can't go any farther, I'm going to take that hand down onto the block at any level, or bend the elbow, take forearm to your thigh, or fingers may reach the ground, okay? Wherever you are, keep working on that good alignment. Keep working on your strength, your durability, lengthening through your upper arm, your back leg, strengthening and supporting that front leg, the front hand. But both of your feet are really have about the same amount of weight. I know we're more forward on that left, so may feel that, but make sure, that's why I got to remind yourself, press into that back foot so that I know that it's assisting with my support system here. This upper arm can come here if you like, and to take that length into extended side angle. I'm going to take some time to breathe here. Hard to breathe sometimes when I'm yakking. Open up, shoulder, looking up maybe. Fingers extend back towards the ceiling. Pull in strongly at my navel point as I lift myself up. This with strength and dignity. Looking over that left hand, finding myself in beautiful warrior pose, warrior posture, which you all are creating. Straighten that front leg, turn my toes in, find myself back centered here. And exhale, hands come to hips. Bring your head looking downwards. And then take your hands, slide them down the outside of your legs. You may not go that far, that's okay. If that doesn't feel right, come back to that block in the center. Otherwise, maintaining a straight spine here. Hands on block or hands on the side of your legs. And now I want, if you're comfortable, to go ahead and forward fold into this. So that means your hands slide down your legs more, or they come to the earth. You have a block like I do here. I planted my forehead on my block so that I'm supporting myself. My hands are stretched on the outside of my legs, getting myself a really good back stretch, opening calves, opening up hamstrings. And then I'm going to go ahead and lift back into that straight spine, hand unblock or ground, walk my feet in, heel, toe, heel, toes, heel, toes, till I'm about hips distance again. And I'm in this forward fold, bending into my knees, take my arms forward, bend into my knees some more. Fingers are directly towards you, yours towards mine. Push through my feet, lift and lengthen my legs. Come on up, lengthen side body. Inhale, exhale, cactus arms. Find your open heart. Rise up. Una vez más, por favor. One more time. Pull it on down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, finding mountain pose. Our balance supported, grounded pose. I wanted to make sure we got a few of those heart openings because we were forward folding, right? Like I said, we really want to make sure that we balance those forward motions with the heart opening as well. Okay, we're going to come back into our five-pointed star again. We're going to do a little bit more out of that warrior two position. So finding ourselves here, taking my right toes out and bending into that right knee. Finding my body centered, finding a well balanced on both feet. Okay, here. And we take a little time now. We've held the postures a bit. Now we're just going to take a little bit of time to flow with it. So from here, we're going to go inhale, lift, straight leg. Exhale, take it to your warrior two. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior two. Keep going your breath, you guys. Really lengthen here. And then take your time. The movement, meditative movement, we get that by our breath. One more, please. Finding ourselves in warrior two. So another expression that we can do from warrior two is reverse warrior. And that's taking this back hand down, that back leg, or around, and then lifting your front arm up, offering up towards the heavens there, keeping low in that knee. So anytime I do this, sometimes I lengthen my leg. This time I want to keep it bent, okay? Looking up. Sometimes we may flow by lengthening it, but right now we're going to hold into this one. We're going to breathe a bit here. Letting our heart's energy reach up to the sun now that's shining. Darn, all our snow is going to melt away. That's all right. Like the sun as well. And bring ourselves up. Back into warrior two. Okay, now to relieve that front leg a little bit, let's flow with that. So from here, this is my exhale. Inhale, straighten leg, take myself back. And exhale, come back into warrior two. Lengthen leg, lengthen side body, inhale. And exhale. Take that with your breath, your flow. We'll all be a little bit different. We're not the Rockefeller dancers or whatever that crew is that dances all together. We're not synchronized swimmers. We're yogis, and we're respecting our own bodies, our own breath. One more time. Beautiful. Straighten that front leg, turn the toes in or forward, sorry, and then the other toes out. Left foot turns out, find that length, find the depth, find my body centered, okay? And here I am, exhale, and find some breath. And we're gonna go into reverse, but keeping the knee bent, arm comes down the back leg, or wrap around for a bind if you'd like. Other fingers come up, really lengthening upward, finding and keeping that depth in that front knee. Keeping your breath, the depth in your breath. That will help you sustain yourself, support yourself in this pose. Really reach your fingers up a little higher. Maybe find more depth in your knee. And then take yourself into warrior two, looking over that left hand. And I know that front leg is getting tired, so let's do a flow here. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen front leg, lengthen side body. And take it down, exhale. Inhale, bringing it up. Exhale, taking it down. Keep going, your flow, your speed, your rhythm. You're calm. Let's do one more. And down. Warrior two, find it. Believe in it. Believe that you are it. And straighten that front leg. Take your toes in. And let's heel toe just a little bit in. We still want to be in a nice kind of V here. And now I'm going to take my toes out and my heels are in. We're getting ready to do some goddess poses. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. Nice. Inhale, lift. We're going to do 4 like this. And we're going to do 4 Hawaiian style. And that's hands down. Inhale, lift. It's Hawaiian style, but I just saw that image in some of their petroglyphs that were there. And one more. Inhale, lift. 4 times. Squat, hands to heart. Inhale up. And down. Again, warming ourselves for this cold day. It's supposed to not get much more than freezing today, but I don't know, we'll see. And come down. Inhale, lift. 1 more set of 4. Inhale up. Hands come out, shoulder height. Rise up. Exhale. Bring it on up. Exhale down. Rising up. And exhale, hands come floating down. Heel toe. Let's come to the back of your mat. And we're going to do a little balance here in a tree pose. So it really doesn't have to be the back of your mat. And if you have a chair available, you may want it. Stay in the middle. I move back a little bit because I have a double mat in the middle and it kind of messes up my balance. So, but first, again, all these standing strong poses, we find ourselves in a good mountain pose. So I pull up on my kneecaps a bit, not locking, but just so there is some contraction there, a little contraction, so I get it up into my thighs, okay? I want to take weight into my left foot, and I'm going to open up my right hip. My right knee comes out, and then I maybe come to my toe. Maybe I bring it into my ankle or into my calf or up here on my thigh. Okay, and you can hold here. You can hold onto the chair with one hand and your hand here. So those are different options, right? All the way from here, 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 holding at any point, or you can take and let your hip open even more. Get the sole of your foot facing you. This is not for everybody. It's just an option, okay? Do any of those that feel right. Take any support that you need or want. Feel the ground supporting you with that left foot no matter what. And then taking hands, maybe just one hand if you're holding onto a chair, or both into your heart space here. Breathing in. If you used an essential oil or something before class, making sure you can still smell that. So reminding yourself how important it is for those deep breaths. And staying here, you can grow your branches of your tree, bringing hands up, maybe one hand up if the other hand's on the chair. Really stretching, really pushing down into that standing foot as your hands reach up high. And then hands come to heart. Taking your foot down, bringing it back to the ground or back into mountain. And let's just walk up those knees a bit. And let's get ready for tree on the other side again. Having a chair or a wall available is really good and fine and supportive and helps you to start to keep realizing more of where your balance begins and where it ends, okay? Putting weight into my right foot now, opening up left hip, left knee, left foot, got my toe on the ground, maybe I come here, find approximately where you were before. Remember, not inside the knee, okay? We don't want to push into that. Find where you were before. And if this side doesn't go that far, then remember that, and the next time don't go that far with the other side, okay? Because you really want to honor both sides. Honor both sides by trying to do the same thing on each side, but not forcing one side to do something it's not ready for. So it's best to back off on one. Okay, so big thing about tree, no matter where your foot is, so we want to keep that hip open. All right, you want to work on taking extension and balance into the foot that has most of the weight. Right, and your hands again can either come here to Anjali Mudra here, prayer position. My thumbs happen to be going into my thymus, my sternum area here. Elbows are out. Really feeling focused here, really feeling strong, courageous. Like those pine trees, those evergreens, right, that just stay so strong all year long. It looks so beautiful this morning. If you like, you can open up your arms really wide here, or just one hand maybe, and the other hand's on the chair or at your heart. Just be your own tree, okay? Trees have a lot of lessons to teach us, and being unique in our own skin, our own leaves, is one of those lessons, okay? Being accepting of ourselves, ready to let go and release when it's time, ready to bud out when it's time. And hands come back to heart center. Leg comes down. Walk it out just a bit here. And then we're going to take ourselves into down dog just briefly. We haven't spent much time in down dog today. And then we're going to come on to knees and then get ourselves a little bit more grounded. All right, so I'm facing this way. That's just, again, because I have these two mats. You can stay facing the way you were. I'm going to inhale up. I'm going to exhale down, pulling at my navel. Hands may come to hips. Fingers come to the ground, bend into knees as much as you need to. Let your heavy head go. And I'm going to walk my hands forward and my feet back, because that's just where I happen to be on my mat. Find what you need to do for your down dog. Your down dog might be feet on the ground and hands on top of the seat of the chair. Okay, take it to where that works for you. My ears are close to my biceps. I'm walking out my feet here. Wagging the tail of the duck. Taking myself back and just feeling the calmness here. Feeling flexible, feeling supported, feeling balanced. Taking this as a resting pose, believe it or not. And I'm going to come high on the balls of my feet. I'm going to open up my knees and let them come to the ground. If you have a blanket, you can utilize that. If you want them to take my toes together, I'm going to push my tailbone back and let it come back. Maybe come in contact with my heels. That does not work. Set a block underneath you here, or a blanket rolled up between the back of your thighs and your heels, and that will keep some of the weight off of your knees. Okay, and any strain, we don't want that. Let your arms come out, let your head come down, let yourself breathe and go here. Get another stretch for those shoulders, since I know that was one of Rose's requests today. Right hand towards your right knee, flip it up, send it under your left armpit, and take a rest on your right temple, your right shoulder, looking towards the left. My left hand is extended forward, helping to support as well. Don't want any pressure on my neck, you guys. It's on my hand, on my shoulder, and back towards my hips. That's where I'm letting the weight go. Big breaths here. Really, you'll feel that more in your shoulder the bigger your breaths are. One more big breath here. Next inhale, pull that arm back, let it extend forward. Find your forehead on the ground and just take a breath. Left hand comes back towards left knee, flips up, takes it under right armpit. Come onto the shoulder first and then to your temple. Right hand stays out in front of you, making sure you've got support there. Shoulder back towards your hips. Neck and head are just kind of hanging in there. Feel your breath expand into your open thighs. One more big breath here. Next inhale, slide that arm back and reach it on out. Exhale down. One more flow. My favorite here. This is our exhale down, our child's pose or peaceful warrior. Then we're going to bring ourselves up and take ourselves forward. Hips come down, toes lift. Arc your spine, look up, inhale. Feel that opening in your abdominal area, in your hip flexors there. And then I take my hips back towards my heels. Forehead comes down. That's my exhale. Inhale. Hanging cobra. Exhale. Take it down. Two more here. Bring it on down. And from here, just rise up onto hands and knees. Let's do cat-cow here. Exhale, releasing, belly down. And this cat-cow that I want us to do, I don't want you to take your neck into it this time, okay? I want you to see the difference. So just keep your neck in neutral and let your belly go, and then let your belly be pulled up. So it's just hip here, okay? Hip and lower spine. We're not getting a lot right now so much in the upper spine. Just the hips and that lumbar spine, getting up a little bit into the thoracic area. See the difference here? Really active hips. Okay, now let's take it fully into it. Exhale, belly drops, look up, come into all parts of your spine. And then exhale, curl, tuck, round. Keep going. Slow and steady. Let's do one more set here. Good. Take your legs together. And we're going to come in for a few breaths, knees, legs, everything together there, into a true Balasana pose, okay, a true child's pose. So I'm going to come back onto my heels. And again, my legs are together. If this is a lot for you, place a block right there between yourself or a blanket, maybe more comfortable. And I'm going to take my hands backwards, palms up, and I'm going to curl in and find my hairline, probably touching the ground gently, letting my shoulders just go here, letting my whole torso rest on my thighs. Really feeling that I've got to take that breath, push it into my thighs. Just feeling like I'm just in this little tiny connected ball here. Couple more breaths here. Good. And from here, I want you to keep your chin tucked in. We're going to roll up just vertebrae by vertebrae. So your chin will be the last thing to come up. The shoulders are still staying rounded until that part of your spine lifts up. Your chin slowly comes up as well. Your hands can reach out onto the top of your thighs. And we find ourselves, this is sometimes called thunderbolt pose or hero's pose. And again, if it's a lot on your knees, place yourself on a block or blanket. And we're going to come to our hips on the ground and our feet, soles of the feet together in a butterfly pose. So we're having a little more hip opening here. If you want to take it into a more restorative manner, you can use blocks here. And that will just keep your legs up, but you'll still get that hip opening. And I'm going to take my hands onto my ankles to keep my back nice and straight here. I'm going to breathe a bit. And I'm just going to flow a few times, coming forward. Exhale. Inhale, bring myself back, hold on. Just getting that final connection between movement and breath. Hoping that you'll build that into the movements that you take today. Whatever that might be, using breath is going to keep you more, it'll keep you stronger, keep you safer, keep you more mindful and connected. And then just sitting up, take your legs into whatever position feels right for the end here. And just come into Sukhasana here. Thank you all for being here today. You know, if it were still at Vessel Health and it was a snowy day, we might not have many people that were able to join us because they wouldn't want to get on the roads. So again, we got to look at the good side of what has happened here and how we're still able to stay connected. And so from my heart to yours, feeling very connected to you this morning. Thank you for giving your strong practice today, for warming up yourself with me, for warming up your heart with me. From my heart to yours in service. Namaste.